working well.
Going to be live in 3, 2, 1. We're live.
Yo, it's your boy, Future Courtier here. We got the BSK and we got the one and only king himself, OTT. You see him with the crown on. You know what time it is. Stop playing with the boy. Anyways, we got a Hood News exclusive here today. So OTT has, something to tell the people, the fans, the people watching at home, that they're interested in this war with MG versus BSK. So go ahead, King, get it off your chest. What's new in the world of BSK?
All right. First off, I'd like to go and let everybody know that Sergio already knows this news. I did tell him today. He was pretending as though it didn't bug him, but I know deep down in his soul, he's upset as hell. Now, here it is. About 2.5 weeks ago, I got a call from Gabriel, who is the sit-in leader for the Marabuntas. I call him the sit-in leader because he's never been a real leader. Let's be real. Sergio retired, left it to Marco. Marco said, fuck this. I ain't handling all this motherfucking mess. And he dipped. Gabriel ended up taking it. Now, Gabriel used to be Aztecas. For those that don't remember, that turf right there behind us used to be Azteca turf. Now run and operated by GG themselves. Now, Sergio was fighting BSK months ago, and he knew he was dead. He didn't have numbers. He didn't have money. All he had was his mouth yapping. So what did he do? He convinced Gabriel to fold the Aztecas, to merge with the Marabuntas, and unite so that he could fight us. And what did he do? He used Gabriel for all of his money, siphoned millions of dollars out of him. And then when it all finished, what did he do? He retired. He went to the airport.
Tell him.
He went to the airport and flew off into Liberty City to never be seen again until recently. Now, while he was gone for all these months, Gabriel's been sitting here picking up the pieces, not being able to use the gang app because Sergio's still the leader on it, not being able to get any of the Marabuntas that were original Marabuntas to follow his orders because in reality, it was Aztecas really leading the Marabuntas while there was only a couple of them there. Now, why am I giving you this backstory, you ask? Well, 2.5 weeks ago, Gabriel gave me a call and said, OT, I need to speak to you in private. Nobody can hear us. Nobody can come here. You can't share this with anybody. I said, okay. Now, throughout these months, while Sergio's been gone, Gabriel has been getting awfully close to BSK, doing allegedly banks together, allegedly some robberies together, just kind of kicking it because he's been alone by himself with him and just a couple of Aztecas and maybe a straggler Marabunta from time to time. And he said, OT, I got an opportunity for you. You were right about Sergio. He used me. He used all of us. And then he got up and left because he's a coward. He didn't want to face the rain. He fucked off into the sunset and left me holding the fucking bag. And the bag ain't worth shit. You were right, OT. You were right. And I said, yeah, I know I was right, but what does this have to do with anything? He said, well, I'm about to offer you something that I'm never going to offer to anybody else, ever. And even if you decide you don't want to do this, you can't tell anybody this, because if this gets out, Hydra and other groups are going to come. Now, what is this, you ask? Well, this was the plan. Gabriel, who is the leader of the Marabuntas, told me that he is willing to give BSK every single spray that the Marabuntas have. All of them. So that we can expand our territory and become the biggest gang in the city. He said he loved the fact that we've been the underdogs and we've been sitting through it all, through every season, the ups, the downs, the lows, and the king is still here. But it gets better. This is something that was discussed within the Marabuntas. And there were 4 people within there. and I won't say their names because I want Sergio to figure out for himself, that were willing to drop the Marabunta flag and become BSK the next motherfucking day. Gabriel and Blake, who are both, I guess, higher ups within the Marabuntas, wanted to stay neutral for some time with the possibility of them joining other Marabuntas to come into BSK. Now, his plan was this. Well, we just can't go ahead and give you all the sprays because there's going to be a couple of Sergio disciples that are going to create an issue when he starts to see that sprays are going in fudge. So we formulated a plan where we were at 34 sprays and we wanted to get to 36. Put your fucking phone on silent.
Yo.
Wanted to get to 36. So what they wanted to do is give us 2 sprays in Shambles, which is right on the border between BSK and El Burro, the ones that we were fighting over a long time ago. And what Gabriel was going to do is he was going to tell the Marabuntas that weren't in on this that we had just worked out a deal for 2 sprays to get us to 36, and we were going to pay for them, and it was all well, and who gives a fuck? Wouldn't have been any red flags. But once those 2 went up and we started taking more, that's when the shit show would have ensued. So Gabe had the idea that after we get those 2, we take Sergio's spray on his house next. Once we have that, we've got core fudge. Then we can defend in that area with as much as we want and hold any stragglers and kill and exterminate the rest of the Sergio disciples. And then we take all the rest of the sprays within the area, making fudge, upper fudge, oils, El Burro, all of it BSK. And they wanted to join BSK to lead the charge to extinct the Marabuntas behind Sergio and the rest of them's back. Now, Sergio had no idea about any of this shit, okay? And it was so secretive that 90% of the people behind me have no idea that this was even in play, that this was going to happen. Well, 4 or 5 days later, Sergio appears from vacation, all right? He's back, and I see him a couple of times. I'm like, yo, Sergio, what's going on? He's like, I'm just on a holiday. And then all of a sudden, I see more Marabuntas popping up. So I call up Gabriel, and I ask Gabe, what's going on, man? In private, of course. And he says, yo, there's a civil war about to happen. It's going to be Aztecas versus the Marabuntas. It's all going down. That's when I had a plan. Because I thought Gabriel wanted out. He's been complaining about Marabuntas. He doesn't want to lead. He can't stand the dudes. He hates Sergio and everything that he's done to him and the rest of them. So what did I do? One of the Marabuntas comes down to the car wash. And I know that this Marabunta is close to Sergio. So I take him aside and I start planting seeds. Yo, how do you feel about Sergio retiring and then all of a sudden coming back? Like, you know, how does that make you feel? Because I think that's some rat shit. I don't think you should be able to retire. You know who started that bullshit? Summer. Summer started that bullshit. If you a gang leader and you leave in a gang, you need to be blooded the fuck out, killed, and that's that. But I understand. I understand the city has changed. The only way I ever see a leader being able to leave a gang is if the gang folds completely and it's over. Then everybody can go their own separate ways and whatnot. But what did Sergio do? He fucking dipped when shit got tough. And you know what the king did? The king sat here and grew with all of my people during the tough times, the good times, the bad times, and the indifferent times. We're still here doing it. And Sergio reappears. So I plant the seeds, knowing that this motherfucker was going to go back to Sergio and tell Sergio that I'm talking shit. Because I wanted Sergio to lose his cool, come down to Brogue, do some dumb shit so we can start fighting with them. So when we start fighting with them, I assumed at that point, Gabriel wasn't going to back Sergio, was going to say, fuck you, fuck this gang, I'm not funding all this again. You're in this on your own. You left me here for fucking 6 goddamn months, and I'm not about to pick up your bullshit. But that's not what happened. No. Once we started fighting, and Sergio took the bait, Gabriel gives me a call the next morning and asked me what's going on. And I was like, bro, I've started it. This is your chance. This is what you wanted, right? And he says, no, I'm blue. I'm Marabunta. And I'm going, what? I'm dumbfounded. Because this guy wanted to fold the entire thing. And it was being in the process. This shit was going down. Okay? And then all of a sudden, now that Sergio's here, he wants to go and fight with the Marabuntas again. Because Gabriel is a beta bitch. He's the biggest beta bitch that the city has ever seen. He doesn't have a backbone. I don't know what Sergio has on this motherfucker. I couldn't tell you, but he has got to have his whole family in a fucking cave somewhere in the middle of bumfuck nowhere with a gun to their head and a C4 strapped to their chair for this guy to go back on all the shit that he said. So here we are, now fighting the Marabuntas, and Sergio knows. And I know Sergio didn't know about this before because this was the biggest secret that we've ever seen. And the Marabuntas were scared because Hydra was out looking for a new home. And they didn't want to leak the fact that they were willing to give up all of the territory to BSK because they were scared Hydra or any other of these up-and-coming groups that are actually around and actually doing stuff and actually deserve turf was going to go for it before we took it.
Damn right.
God damn.
They're a bunch of pussies. Gabriel, this is going to end one way for you, motherfucker. Either I'm going to kill you or Sergio's going to end up killing you. And that motherfucker might use you right now. He might use you again for the next 3 months, 6 months. But Sergio is going to retire again, or he's at the end of this war, he's going to be in a fucking casket. Because the Kings ain't fucking around. And yeah, this is big news, but it ain't all that big news because nobody actually gives a flying fuck about the Marabuntas. Whether they exist or don't exist, it doesn't matter. It doesn't affect the city. It doesn't affect the South Side. Sergio's on here on holiday. He ain't here because he wants to be here. But that's okay. I'm going to send him back to wherever the fuck he came from. You hear me, Sergio? You hear me? And you know what? Gabriel might not be able to snake all of your fucking territory from you now that you're back and you control the app. But the King's gonna take it anyway. The King's gonna take everything from you. Guns ain't what they used to be, Sergio. They ain't $5,000 a Browning anymore, bitch. How much money do you really have? How many bullets can you really take? Because the Kings ain't gonna stop until there ain't no more blue over in Fudge. You understand me?
That's right.
Now, service announcement to Sergio. If you don't want to kill everything that you quote-unquote love and what you believe in, cockroaches, then what I want you to do is I want you to go on Hood News publicly, take off your blue flag and beg the King for forgiveness and go back to the airport where you came from. You retired pussy bitch.
That was
Cut it.
that was fantastic.
Cut right there, cut right there, cut right there, cut.